Hey everybody. So I discovered something since my kid is in school. I have a kid, in case I never mentioned that before. I have a couple. Either way. So one of them went in school and I discovered that they changed math. They changed math because people realized that not everyone figured out mathematical equations the same. They discovered that the way that they have been teaching math works for some kids and not for other kids. And so they just changed the way that it's taught. They sort of started teaching this way. I did this math problem with my son this morning, and we did it with 4 completely different ways of coming to the exact same number. And it was just different ways of doing 7 plus 5 plus 4. And so some kids just do 7 plus 5 plus 4. It's as simple as that. It's linear. Some kids do 5 plus 5, take away 1, which takes care of the 4, so they get to 9, then 9 plus 7 equals 16. And so it's very interesting to me that math started accommodating to all these different ways of thinking. As people, we sort of have this tendency to want to be the same as those around us. I don't know, maybe it's like this pack mentality because we're pack animals. It's just what we are. People like other people. I know there's introverts and extroverts, but everybody loves people to some extent. It's been proven before that if you have nobody at all around you, you go a little bit crazy, or a lot of bit crazy. Probably a lot of bit crazy, I would think. And so we have this thing where we really want to be like those around us. Like and this is something where I've heard people say this before because I do a fair amount of reading, and a lot of these guys that are a lot smarter and more wonderful than me, they'll say like, if I will tell you what your future holds just by those who you surround yourself with. And it's because we as people do this thing where we want to be like other people. We want to be like those around us, or we're just pulled in that direction. I don't know, but everybody has this thing where they'll look at somebody else and they think, I want that. And we sort of start to like piece ourselves together physically, emotionally, mentally, based on the aspects of other people that we really like. And we also sort of beat ourselves up a fair amount about how we don't match up in certain areas just like these other people, or sorry, how we don't match up to these other people. And I think we've got to get a lot better at realizing, I know there's nothing wrong with wanting to be like somebody else. There's nothing wrong with wanting to be more like this person, like look more like this. There's nothing wrong with looking at somebody with bigger muscles than you and wanting those sizes of muscles, or looking at somebody skinnier than you and wanting to be that skinny, or looking at somebody bigger than you and wanting to be bigger. It doesn't really make a difference. There's nothing wrong with that inherently. But we've also got to realize that we are different. That I am different from you, who's different from my wife, who's different from my kids. My kids are very different. I can't treat the one the same way I treat the other one. Even if the one wants to be like the other one, they're just not. They're different. They think different, and actually they're made different. I feel like we as people need to start realizing that we are different than every single person around us for 2 reasons. One of them is so that we can start going a little bit easier on ourselves when we don't do things as perfectly as someone else would have. Because I can guarantee you, no matter what you're doing, there's somebody somewhere who could do it better. And I know that somebody's going to argue with me, well, what about the person who's best in the world at that? Cool. I've never found him yet. So whatever you're doing, somebody else can do it better. And that's not actually a depressing statement. That's an oddly liberating statement. Because once you accept the fact that you're not going to be perfect and there's always somebody better, it sort of frees you up to just do your best and be okay with that. And the other thing that it does is it helps us to stop being so mean and harsh to everybody else who doesn't do things the way we want or the way we think they should. So when you're going through your life, when you're walking along the road tomorrow or tonight or whatever time you are watching this, Remember that you are different than every single person around you. And start to smile. Because you start to realize that everybody around you has a completely different set of things going on in their brain. And if they see you smile, you might make a friend. You might make a friend you wouldn't have made otherwise. But what you also do when you smile is smiling will help you to be a little bit kinder to everybody around you, and you'll be a little bit more gracious. And maybe, just maybe, if we all start to smile a little more, we'll realize that everybody has a different smile and has a different life and has a different brain and has a different everything. We're all different, and we're all made different, and we're all supposed to be different. You're never going to be exactly like the person next to you or the person across from you or the person walking down the street. And they're never going to be like you. And maybe the next time you get frustrated with someone, maybe try and talk to them before you get mad or start talking about them to someone else about how frustrated you are. Maybe talk to them first just to figure out what happened. It might help. I did that today with someone. I spoke to him. I just wanted to know what had happened in a certain situation because that's sort of what I have to do in a certain role in my life. I don't like those conversations, but it was good. Because, of course, he had a completely different side of the story. There's always a different side of the story. Don't pretend like you know everything, because you probably don't, which also is a very liberating thing, because you can go through your life starting to give people the benefit of the doubt. Maybe assume the best and make people prove the worst, instead of assuming the worst and making people prove the best. Let's have a friendly day. Anyways, talk to you next time.